I figured I would get the answer later as I went through maybe the next thing, but shall I just go ahead or do you want to do this in some sort of order?
Let's just jump in. I'm fine with following your kind of brain path. I'm going to record these questions so that way I can send you this recording if that's okay with you, and you'll have it kind of in your back pocket.
Yeah, I won't.
Is that okay?
To it. You can. Who's going to have time to listen to it? But okay. Yeah. Okay. If you want. Okay. My first question is that a lot of the documentation talks about an ASA, and but I never really found any definition of an ASA compared to an admin. So can you explain to me what the difference is from ASA and admin?
Yes. So ASA stands for Authorized Service Administrator, and what that really, I just say the super admin. Once you've graduated, the biggest difference is once you've graduated, you'll be able to start calling the help team for the lifetime that you're with MemberClicks. However, technically only ASAs can call the help team. You can have 2 ASAs on your account, and the reason we do that is because if you called up to our help team and said, we need to change our member types, we're going to say, okay, what's your account number and what's your ASA PIN number, and you'll have to give that to them. And if somebody's not an ASA, they'd say, okay, well, we'd have to talk with an ASA to be authorized to make that change. That's it.
Okay. Yep. Okay. The next thing is, let's see, using events as training. Okay. Yeah, I think I've already answered that question, so never mind. Is there a limit to how much content is on any one web page?
No, there is no limit, but just keep in mind that that's going to be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
Yep.
But no limit.
Okay. I provided a structure for the website in one of those documents I gave almost 2 weeks ago. So, but I don't see a structure yet in my in my website or in my the back end. So is that going to be?
So let me ask you this, and we are still waiting for my designers to add RCI. I am still waiting for my designers to add your design.
Yeah, and it's almost been 2 weeks.
So it takes 2 to 3 weeks for these templates to be, that's really just about the timeline that it takes for us right now. We're kind of revisiting our help team or our design team and trying to see if we can't move that up a little bit. So my question to you there.
The good thing is I've already been able to add some pages and stuff. So I don't know whether they're going to end up knocking those out, but I doubt it. I mean, that's just content. So I'm assuming
one of my questions to you was on the content spreadsheet that I sent you. So what we don't want to do is go in here and if we just added this menu that you gave to us, it's just going to be a blank shell. They're just going to go to blank articles. So that I sent you. I think that we already talked about this via email. If you would kind of for each of the, go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's fine. And I started to do that spreadsheet even before you had sent it to me the second time. But it's so easy to add a page. I don't know whether it's just easier for me to add the content in myself rather than putting together that spreadsheet. I mean, I have like 40 pages loaded into that right now. But also I was looking at, I'm like, well, which pages would I want you to add in? And so I was picking like the harder ones, but truthfully, they all go in pretty easy. So I don't know if there's value in actually having you guys do it. I just don't know. It seems.
It's totally up to you. If you prefer just getting it done and doing it yourself, I'm kind of that person too, where I'm pretty hands-on, but it's beneficial to use our designers for this stuff. If you say, bring over everything on my site exactly as it is, and bring over the exact menu build as it is on our site right now. That's easy because we don't have to have that content spreadsheet. We just look at your site, mirror it, bring it over. But in this case, I could see where you're coming from.
Yeah, so I've made a couple adjustments, and if we had the shell in here, then I would be able to have my VA start to bring the stuff over.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and build out the shell, build blank.
But I mean, it's actually, yeah. So, but can we look in here right now? That would be under menu items. Is that where that goes? No.
Well, it depends. We've got articles, which holds the pages of content, or menu items, which actually houses the structure of your menu.
Okay, and so right now we just have, I see main menu, social network menu, member menu, quick links. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Okay. And that's where they added the test page. Okay. And then, I don't know. I don't care. If you guys had this shell in there, I could just have her do that. Or if I give you the menu, if I give you, the content spreadsheet, I'm afraid that it's going to take longer for you guys to upload it than me just getting it done. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I'll have my designer go ahead and build out this menu structure and create blank articles for every item. So you're not having to actually build the menu structure. Then all you have to do is find the blank article, throw in the text, format it the way you want it to look, and then go on about your day.
Yeah,
if there's
and
one
that would
that
be
you
helpful because that'd be helpful because once we get the content in there, then they can make it pretty, but it'd be nice, since the content piece, we need to do a lot of massaging. It'd be nice to be able to get the content in there now while they're making it pretty.
Yeah, and this is actually what my designer did because I said I'd bring over like a test for you so you could see what it would look like. This is how he ended up bringing it over. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. And so what I did was I thought, okay, so let me put a page in myself. So I just grabbed a page and I put another test page in. Of course, I didn't put it on the menu, but I just put another test page in. And it took me 45 seconds to bring over another page that looks exactly like what he did. So, and that's when I haven't looked in the code yet to see if I introduced any weird coding. So I was going to do that next, but the page looks the same. So, I suppose I probably should have done that before I even mentioned that to you, because, if the page is wiggy, I might want to then let me just do that now. I'm going to just kind of go in there now. Let me look at the HTML. Oh, no, that is absolutely beautiful looking HTML code. So
perfect.
Yeah. So seriously, I mean, that took me literally less than a minute to put this page in. So that would be a lot quicker. I think if you could build out the structure like I gave it to you, then I'll just I'll have my VA load the content.
Yep. We will get that done for you. Absolutely. Cool.
Okay.
All right.
And then speaking of my admin, my VA loading the content, so she is in the database right now. And can she log in? I mean, is this site live to the point where someone like her could log in?
It is. To visit the site, she would just need to go to rci.memberclicks.net. If she wanted to log in, everybody has login credentials. You can assign her a password. So what's her name?
Phoebe.
Will you spell that for me?
P-H-O, I can't do it on, P-H-E, Phoebe. P-H-O-E-B-E.
Aha. So, username. If you're looking at my screen, her username's sitting in her profile right underneath her name. Are you looking at my screen?
We're on a meeting together. Oh, wait. How come okay. I didn't say okay on set, so I've not been looking at your screen this whole time. Okay, there we go.
So I'm in Phoebe's profile. This is her username. And then if you want, you can either have a password or you can reset it for her. And what I would recommend doing is just manually resetting, and you can reset it to like RCI all caps. That way you can just say, hey, Phoebe, log in. Now, do you want her to see the back end as well, or just the front end of the website?
Yeah. No, because she would have to be able to see the back end to be able to load the content.
Oh, perfect. So where you're logging in at, just give her that same link, and she can use this username and then this password. And I'm going to give her admin permissions right now. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Did I answer your question on that one?
Yep.
Awesome.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna, let me write that down because, login, using same login as me. Did you set her password?
I guess RCI, all
RCI.
caps.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Let me get to the next question. There they are. Move that over here. Okay. Okay. So the structure. How long do you think it'll be before they add the structure in?
Let me peek. Sorry, give me just one more second. Okay. March 24th. Okay. Saturday, so I to them, they've had it for 5, 6, 7, 8. Today's the 9th day. I would definitely say it's taking them up to 3 weeks at times, which I know is just crazy. And like I said, we're working at fixing that.
Yeah. So
definitely.
Would it be better for me just to put in the structure myself? I mean, seriously.
No, no. It'll definitely be done by the end of next week, but I would probably say end of day Monday or Tuesday. Definitely by the end of next week, 100%. I'll check back with them and I'll kind of give you a timeline.
Okay. Are adding the pages independent of the structure? Can I marry those two after, or can I not do the pages until we have the structure?
You can do the pages now.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. Okay. So we'll just do the pages.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So can you show me when I bet I could figure it out, but can you show me when after they get the after they put the structure in, can you show me how I'm going to get those two things together?
It just happens. The like when you say structure, template, is that, or do you mean menu structure?
The menu structure.
Oh, okay. So they're going to be building blank articles. So for example, coaching tools. What they're going to do is come in here, go to website, go to articles. They're going to just build a new article, and it's going to be called coaching tools. They'll probably make it look something like this, save, and then they'll add that to the menu. So you'll be able to go into, like, when you're ready to add the content for coaching tools, you're going to go to website, articles. Oh, there's the coaching tools. Now there's going to be a ton in here. So if you get lost, you can always search using our search feature up here in the top left-hand corner. So you could type in coaching tools to find it faster.
Oh, so it won't be in the structured order on that page? The order won't be in the order of how it's going to appear?
It's in the order on the article page as to how it appears. It will be in order on the menu page as to how it will appear. So when I add this in, the outline of a paper, right? So this will be the order.
Yeah.
But not on the article page. It's kind of just a mess.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so on the menu page, that's where I actually can see the structure.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then it'll reflect on the front end as well.
Okay, so So once again, so if I go into the article page, just start plopping in the articles, I can do this, screw them up?
If he's going to be building blank articles for you, you don't need to actually build the article. The shell of the article in here, you'll just need to search for the article you're looking for.
Right. But if he's not going to get that done for another week, then that means it's a whole week I can't start loading the articles.
He should be able to get this done. We use a separate guy for content, and he should be able to get this done by end of day tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay.
I would just suggest allowing him to add these first, because if you add them, you may call them something different than what you called them in the outline that you gave us or whatever, and then that's just, it can kind of get a little confusing and messy. So wait for him to add those shells, and then you can jump in there and build out the content.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here is, I need to see if I need to change some of our practices to, match with your tool. So, and I think we talked about this briefly, but when someone joins us, so let's just say when they join our membership, they pay, I need to write this down as I'm saying this. Okay, so they pay an enrollment fee. So let's say that's $1,000. They pay $1,000 today, and then they start their $79 a month after that. Or if they don't have the whole $1,000, they might want to finance that. So they may pay 3 payments of $333, and then start on the $79 a month. Okay, so it does that. Do you see that working fine in your system with them purchasing the one thing and it going through, some different? Today they're paying $1,000, and then.
So when somebody joins, they have to take they would have to take like a membership application. And when somebody takes a membership application, we can add very easily an additional fee that would say new member fee or new installation fee, or whatever you want to call that. And it'll have to say something along the lines of, yes, I agree to the new member fee. And when they check yes, it's going to apply $1,000 or whatever that new member fee is to their invoice for that one time only and never again. So they'll pay that $1,000, and then it's going to drop off just to the $79 a month or year or whatever their dues amount is. Now, doing it in installments is doable, but that's going to be a little bit more manual work on your end. There's not an automated way to. There's not an automated way to do that.
Anyway.
Okay. So the way I would see that working is, I think the easiest way is still kind of having that $1,000 on that invoice, but just allowing them to pay a little at a time, and then every time, like, you can apply partial payments to that singular invoice. That makes more sense to me than creating multiple invoices for small amounts, because I just feel like that'd be more to keep up with.
Okay, so the other thing that I can do is I can still do the down payment section in our other, in our other system where we have it now, and just do the membership fees through MemberClicks. That might be the easier thing to do.
How is that working in your existing system?
Well, I'm able to do the. I have it set up so that it is a one-time payment of $1,000 with recurring payments of $79. That works brilliantly, and that just works easily. And if they're doing the payment plan, then I set it up so that today's payment is $333, and then I set it up for two additional payments of $333, and then manually before the next payment, we have to go in and adjust it to $79. So we do a manual process for those folks.
So you could do something similar using ad hoc invoices in the MemberClick system. So that $1,000 initial payment that would be easy peasy. But that second part,
right.
yeah, it would probably still look very similar to how you're doing it now.
Okay. So another thing that I was thinking is that I might need to roll out our, I might need to launch with doing our payments separately outside of MemberClicks, just get the functionality going, and then add in MemberClicks payments as, phase 2. I might have to do a 2-phase launch because I don't know that we're going to be ready in time for the payment part. Do you see any problem with that?
No, other than the expiration dates will have to be updated for next year.
I already did the expiration dates out to October. So when I had Elliot loaded in, I had him load everything in October, knowing I was going to have to adjust them all anyway.
Okay, cool. So that I don't see any issues with that. That'd be totally fine.
Okay. So let me go back to my question. Okay. So what about other things that I think that you already answered this once for me, but I've now forgotten. So what about other products that we sell? So sometimes we provide some extra support for our members, and so they purchase this extra little product from us. How would I do that in MemberClicks? Or could I?
Yeah, you definitely could. I would recommend using a form, and that form can almost act as a store. So you would create, and this probably isn't quite like what you're looking for, but I've got a client right now who sells publications. So he created a form, and it says publications for sale, and it lists all of the publications that he has for sale, a picture of the publication, a description of the publication, the title, and then it'll say how many of this publication would you like to purchase. The publications are, for example, $24.95, and somebody could put in the number 3. Maybe they want 3 of a publication for $24.95. The invoice will automatically do that multiplication for you, and then create the invoice with the line item and that member.
Yeah. Okay. So so you said the form can have multiple check boxes on it, so that they can choose things in the store. That's kind of like your store. That's kind of like your cart. So you can check, you want all these different things. I want these 4 out of the 10 things on this form.
Exactly. It could just be a list of services, and it could say, which of the following services would you like to purchase in addition to your membership? And you could go through and select multiple different selections.
That's my structure right there. I mean,
I'm building it.
Oh.
I'm doing this as we're talking for you. I figured I could just get it in here faster too.
See, I told you it's not that hard.
No, I know it's not. It's really not.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that distracted me. So
I'm sorry.
So I thought maybe he was working on it. I got all excited. So so the form itself. Could you say that all over again? Whatever you said, I wasn't listening.
I'm sorry, I distracted you. I was trying to do it sneakily on my other screen, and I gave away my secret. So I was saying that you could have just a long selection set and title it services available or additional services to membership, and they could choose as many of those services they wanted to, and there could be a different price associated with each service.
Okay, so the form can have lots of different things on it. Do you have to put that on a page for them to access, or can it just be right off of the form?
So the form itself does have its own URL. So you could just send somebody, like a singular person, hey, here's the URL to a form.
Nice. Okay.
Cool. But for it to be public, traditionally people would add it to either a quick links menu or a main menu.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So URL or quick links or main menu. Okay. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Okay. So I think I know this, but I'm gonna ask anyway. Everything that goes onto the calendar is an event. I mean, is classified as an event. Yeah?
Not necessarily, but sure.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the not necessarily? What else could be? How I want to put things on a calendar, which is kind of a schedule. I want to put our training schedule on there. It isn't really an event. It's just a schedule.
Exactly. So that would be kind of that you can use that calendar. You can put any kind of date on it. If you wanted to put your members' birth dates on there, you could do that. The great thing about our calendar is that you can categorize it by color. So we use a good example. So if you've got training.
I already did one. Yeah, you can go into mine and go back into mine. I just added. Yeah, go down. Yeah, I added a couple. Oh, I was going to say, mine is blue, but no, it is green for a couple. See, I've got professional coach training, singles coach training, a couple of coach training categories, and I figured I would put, so I have to look, obviously I have to fix the wording and stuff like that, but in your system, that's always called an event. There's not another terminology or another location to put stuff that's going to end up into the calendar. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I would go into, okay. And I also noticed that there is a category section in events, that's separate from the categories for content, for like website content. Is that correct? They're both called category, but they're event categories and article categories. Is that correct?
Where did you see that at?
So if you go in, here's where you can see. Go into website and go down to categories.
This is totally different. This is totally separate.
Yeah. They are totally separate. Okay, they're both called categories. So when I saw categories in the one, I'm like, well, here's where you put categories in, and I go, oh wait, this is different than the calendar category. So they both call categories, but they're separate things. So this is who is even allowed to see your website. Who is even allowed to see your website, period. So like this just has some permissions associated. Like after, as we build the site, everybody obviously should be able to see your website. Some people don't allow the public to see their website. So then we would uncheck public, but traditionally you'd want everybody checked here. So yeah, totally separate. Yep. Yeah. Okay. I lost my questions. Where's my questions? Did I close it down? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Okay. Everyone can have okay. Member types. My mouse is not cooperating. Okay, member types. So could you go to my database? Member types, yeah. Okay. Every person that's in here, everybody gets one member type. This is like their main. This is the main thing. This is their main thing. Does everybody just get one of member types? I know people can have multiple groups, but everybody gets one member type.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, and that's just really their membership. Okay. If they have more than one thing that they, this is a note I wrote while I was walking. I dictated this, so let's see what it even sounds like. Okay. If they have more than one thing that they pay for, can they be in a group so that me associated with, I know
what you're asking. I know what you're
okay,
asking.
good. I have no idea what
So it sounds to me like you're asking, well, what if they pay for 2 memberships? What if technically they apply to 2 member types? Could they pay via a group? Does that sound like what you were maybe trying to ask?
I don't think that. No, I don't think that's what I meant. Okay, let me look at the question one more time. If they have more than one thing they pay for, okay, so that would be paying for Relationship Coach Finder and their membership. Can they be in a group associated with the payment? I have no idea, so let's skip that one. Okay, everything that I want on the events calendar gets categorized as events. No, I figured that out. Okay. I learned from watching the video that actually kind of excites me. So I know that one of the questions in the stuff that I submitted to you was, do you use QuickBooks? And I said yes. And my husband's the one who set up QuickBooks, and he's not a numbers guy, so he just does everything uncategorized, which drives me nuts. But now I realize that your system is not integrated with QuickBooks. So technically, I can use the category. See, there's categories again. I can use those accounting categories any way I want without it affecting our QuickBooks.
To confirm, are you saying revenue accounts? Is that what you mean?
Revenue accounts. I imagine it would be, yeah, because it would be all the stuff that the membership dues. So the membership dues and all those other things that they have purchased. So we're not going to need a fancy QuickBooks spreadsheet from you anyway, because my husband's just going to take that number as one whole and put it in QuickBooks uncategorized, which is goofy. But
let me talk on this for just a second. Yep. So correct, QuickBooks and MemberClicks do not integrate, but they can communicate with each other. The way they communicate with each other is through the names of the revenue accounts. So if you have, so what that means is that if you want ever in the future for your QuickBooks and MemberClicks to talk, the revenue account names have to be the exact same in MemberClicks as they are in QuickBooks, because that's how the systems.
Sure. And since he doesn't use that in QuickBooks, I can set it up right in MemberClicks, and then he could conform to me by adding those same categories into QuickBooks if we ever wanted to do that.
Yeah, when you import, so you could export an IIF file, import that IIF file into QuickBooks. When you do that, it will actually create those revenue accounts for you. So if you don't already have revenue accounts, then you are forcing him to conform. What happens if he might already have like member dues and events. And then in your system, you might call it membership and registrations. I mean, those are silly examples. So when you import that now, you're going to have membership dues, events, membership, registration. You're going to have all 4. It's going to create duplicate accounts. So that's why it's important for the ones that he has created for you to be the exact same caps, same spacing, and everything. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. And that only assumes that we never have to do any kind of matching or marrying or talking to each other. If we never talk to QuickBooks, then it doesn't even matter. I can call them anything I want.
Yeah, that's correct.
But I can still use them. Okay. That was everything that was on my question list. I haven't had much time to play with this yet because I'm in the middle of launching my other project. So,
Absolutely. Well, there are just a couple of items that I would like for you to kind of set up in the system that I would technically give you from the database as database homework from the database training. So let's review those. There's 4 things, and I'm going to send you them bulleted in a follow-up email. I'm also going to send you the next video for our next training, which is content, which I know you already know how to do. But I'm going to send you that video, and we'll do the same thing for our content training next time. We can just dive in a little bit deeper into content, answer any questions that have come up. Of course, if we need to backtrack to database stuff, or if you want to move forward a little bit, happy to do that with you as well. So
thank you. And just to let you know, I appreciate the videos, even if it's kind of like watching grass grow sometimes. But I know enough to know that I need to pay attention, because you might do things subtly different than what I'm expecting. So I totally appreciate the videos.
Well, awesome. And I'm glad that we started doing them, because before I would have felt obligated to be like, hey, I know you know this, but let me just give you my spiel. And we would have both probably been like, this is crazy. Because at least in a video, you can bypass something, or you can go back and rewatch something. If you're like, wait, what did that say? You can kind of rewind it. So I love that we're kind of doing that. I'm glad that that's good feedback.
It's always good. I mean, I know what I'm doing with my videos for our members now. I'm making them even shorter. I tell you, I'm breaking it down into smaller chunks, because the attention span. And so the smaller chunks you can break something down, it's actually easier, and it's driving me nuts that I have to do that. But
you do, though. Absolutely. I totally understand that. Yes. But you know what? I used to, there was a time in my life where I'd be frustrated. Like, I can hear somebody answering emails while I'm doing a training. Like, why can't they, why aren't they listening? But I started going through some of my own software implementations, and I realized this is miserable. To sit here for a full hour. I don't have the attention span.
Yeah,
so
I know.
I get it. I get it. All right, cool. So let's talk about these couple of items. First two items, when I'm hovering over the financial tab, I'm going to go to invoices. There's two things that I need you to set up here. The first is invoice settings.
Okay.
Invoice settings, all you need to do is add your logo. This logo is going to show up on the top right-hand corner of your invoice.
Okay.
And add your association's information. This is going to show up in the top left-hand corner of your invoice. Next item, invoice templates. This is a little bit unique to MemberClicks. Did you get a grasp of what invoice templates are used for? Let me give you a recap.
Recap me.
Yeah. So in MemberClicks, dues renewals are handled in a totally separate bucket, because that's typically where most of an association's revenue comes from, is dues renewals. So that's in its own totally separate place in another world. Then, under this kind of financial tab, invoice templates, for every other type of invoice created in your system, you need notifications to go out for that type of invoice. So, for example, if I go to a form and register for an upcoming event, and you're allowing me to come back and pay later, an invoice is going to be created. Without an invoice template, the invoice is just going to sit. With an invoice template, you have the ability to send me reminder notifications. Hey, thanks for registering. Make sure you pay your open invoice. Hey, reminder, you got to pay your invoice. Okay, hey, your invoice is past due. And then finally, the fourth notification that we can set up is thanks for your payment. So this leads me to, even if you force people to pay at time of form submission, even if you say to me, no, Adrienne, they have to pay when they register for this event, you still have to set up an invoice template, because you at least want a payment notification email to go out. Nobody likes to make a payment and then their money's gone and they never hear anything, right? So I would suggest starting off by creating a list of all the different types of invoices MemberClicks will create for you. Not things like...
I don't know. The only thing is the stuff that I just mentioned, that besides their membership, we have a couple things that they would pay at the time. So, but it's more they're buying it right then. We don't invoice anyone for anything. They don't ever owe us anything.
Would that be called like additional services?
Correct. Yeah, I guess. Okay.
If my system will let me. Here we go. So, I see the problem. I created this shell of events. I'm going to create one called additional services. I'm also going to create you one, because as a new member, I am separate from a renewal. That's usually looked over. And then you're also going to probably want something that's like miscellaneous. So now all you'll need to do, unless you have additional invoice types that you can think of, really all you would need to do at this time is go in here and say, okay, additional services. I'm going to select edit, choose the due date. When is this invoice due from the date that it was created? It can be anywhere from 15 to 90 days. 30 days is most typical of what I see. Footer information is going to show up as a notes section on the invoice. So you have the ability to put some notes on this invoice. It could be as simple as, thank you for purchasing additional services with RCI. Or it could be something like, here's some information that you might need to claim this on your taxes. Here's remit payment to information if you'd like to submit a check. Do you get my drift?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
and then the last.
These new additional services that, I mean, we're just adding these in right now. So, but as I'm adding them in, I'll be able to figure out how to, fill this in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then the last step to this is just saying, okay, additional services, could this be something that they come back and pay for later? If so, you want to turn on the new invoice email to let them know, hey, you have a new invoice, and you want to edit the email. Now, we've put some default text in here for you. I'm going to be totally transparent with you. I think this default text looks very spammy. If I just got an email, right? If I just got this email that said, new invoice, hello, please see the attached invoice, I'm not going to pay that. Like, what? So you might want to make this a little bit more personalized.
Right. Okay.
Same thing with your reminder email, past due email, and boom. I would always recommend using the payment notification email. Same thing for all these, edit the email. Yeah. Put in some reminder text. Edit the, you go what I'm saying.
Yeah, the academic thing, because I don't have any of these. So I'm going to have to wait until I have something to actually know what to put in here. Right?
That's fine.
I don't have any of these right now. So new members,
maybe,
tell me about that again. Well, yeah.
If I you don't have events?
We don't have events. And the thing that I'm going to, we don't have events. I mean, we
what
have
about training?
Had events. It's included. They don't pay.
Okay.
They just sign up.
New member. If I take your new membership application, same thing. You can either give me the option to pay at time of submitting that application, or you might give me the ability to say invoice me and I can come back and pay an invoice later. Typically for new members, I see that you guys make them pay at time of form submission.
Right, yeah.
So then in this case, just edit the new member and just at least turn on the payment notification email and, edit the email, something along the lines of, thank you for joining with RCI. We appreciate your membership. Check out our membership benefits or something like that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So invoice templates, invoice settings, these two items I want you to kind of noodle in.
Okay.
And then there's only two more items, and we're going to kind of change our thought process for a second. I'm going to hover attributes. So an attribute is just a describer. It's just something that describes your member. In our system, you get to determine what your members can edit, see, or is hidden from them in their profile. That's going to be under this link here, Profile Owner Attribute Security.
Yeah, I was going to actually work on that today anyway.
Cool. So this, you're just going to determine, okay, prospects, they don't even have a profile, something that I want to put in the back of your mind. This also determines what data merge fields you use in emails. So if you send an email to your prospects one day and you've got their first and last name, but it's hidden from them, it's going to say dear blank. They won't be able to see that data merge field because it's hidden from them.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So even though prospects don't have profiles, I usually make everything viewable so that you never have to run into looking crazy by sending somebody an email that says dear blank.
Okay. Okay.
As an admin, you can do whatever you want. So I would say edit. Yeah. And then the rest of these are just going to be, okay, as a member, what can they do and see in their profile? As a membership alumni annual, Maybe they can edit most of their profile. I do want you to make note of, down here at the bottom, we have system attributes, things like their join date, last renewal date, modified date.
Right.
You don't want them to.
Correct. Okay, so here's a funny thing, because we use our database as our database, right? So if we have like their address or something like that in there, sure, we'd love for them to update their address if they move, but we sure don't want them to take out their address if they just decide they want to take out their address, because if we need to send them, or their phone number, right? If we need to get a hold of them for something. So if they change it, is there a record? Can we look at what it was before they removed it or changed it?
There's not. There's a record that will show you the last time their profile was updated, but it won't show you what was updated.
Okay.
That's a good question. So do you kind of, any questions on profile owner attribute security? Okay.
Nope.
The second piece to this is attribute security. This is what your members can see about other members. This is going to take you a little bit of time because you have a lot of member types. So as an admin, it's very similar, but the difference here is, as an admin, you can do whatever you want to do, right? You can edit all of this stuff.
Oh, okay.
Keep note here, there is a arrow for 3 more member types that are hiding.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And don't hate me. You got to use your drop down and go to your next member type.
Yep, I get it. So I have another question. Something came up for me when I saw this. Okay. I think I think it's just on people invoicing for like some of our memberships, or some of our people, they might be on a premium membership, which is $79 a month, but if they're doing some special work for us, we drop it down to $30 a month while they're doing the special work. So, but I would just do that in their invoice. There's got to be some sort of in their profile, I don't know.
If this is a one-off thing, if it's a one-off thing from time to time, I would probably create a credit on the invoice. If this is something that's happening frequently, I would probably create a new,
like 6 months at a time or something like that.
So I've got 2 ideas that I'm kind of thinking. Either create a new member type, or we could create an attribute-based member type. So you could have, it would be an attribute that would be hidden, so only you could see it. And in somebody's profile, there would be 2 options: regular pricing, discounted pricing. If regular pricing is checked, they would pay $79. If discounted pricing is checked, they'd pay $30. And whenever you change that back to the right, like when you're like, oh, Suzanne is done, she's not paying the discount rate anymore. You just go to her profile, change that attribute, and then it would go back to the $79.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely what I would want to do. The pricing.
Is that going to be for all of your member types?
Potentially, but really there's only a couple that are really doing that right now. So, yeah.
Okay. Let me see. So, what that's going to look like. Membership alumni. I would have a membership alumni. annual attribute based. I'll just create new, I'll base it on those. We'll move those members over. They're going to go to the member landing page. Whoops. And then down here, oh, golly. Okay, I'll set it up and I'll show it to you next time. I basically just duplicated the existing member type. I'll set it up and I'll show you next time kind of an example so you can see.
Yep.
Is alumni annual a good example of one that would have?
It isn't. So if you could do RCI premium monthly.
Yep. And it would be, what's the base price for them?
That $79 is the normal price for RCI.
And the discounted price would be?
There's a number of different options.
Oh.
It depends on what they're doing for us. We couldn't have a couple different drop downs.
We could.
Or what? Yeah. So I can figure out what I need it to be. Yeah, I'd have to figure that out.
Okay.
I don't know.
So think on that a little bit, knowing that I could set it up that way. Yeah, there could be multiple options. So think about what those options we need. I wouldn't suggest having it be like 10 different options, 10 different discounts.
Yeah. So typically we have, so it's usually maybe two different options for just a couple of them. So, yeah.
Okay. Think on that a little bit, and we can definitely set that up. No problem. That will not be an issue.
Okay. Yay! Oh, I'm so excited.
All right. Well, I'm going to send you some bulleted items to complete in the system, default invoice templates, or the invoice templates, invoice settings, attribute security, profile owner attribute security. And then the only other bullet in here is just to take a look at the renewal notifications that I've created in the system for you, just to make sure they look correct.
Okay.
And then other than that, just watching that new content training video. I've got a lot of those articles already in here created for you that I'm going to link up to the menu structure. That'll get you a head start. I'm going to let my designer kind of take over the rest of them. But you've got enough in there to get you a good head start. So if you want to go ahead and start working on that, you can. Okay?
Yeah, nice. Okay. And if I wanted to do this in phase 1, phase 2, or phase 1, you're not handling any of our money, and phase 2 you are, maybe a couple months later, you see any problems with that?
I don't see any problems with that. You and I would not hang out during that time. So what we would do if you decided to go to like a phase 2 is in a couple months when you're ready, you could shoot me an email and say like, hey, we're ready to go into phase 2. Like, can you make sure we're set up and ready to go? And we can kind of jump back together at that time. I can make sure you're looking good in the system, and then you'll be good.
Yep. Okay. All right.
But no problems. Hey, you want to go ahead and set up our next content training for next week?
Yep.
How does your
Tuesday? My next Tuesday is completely empty.
Oh, were you saying would next Thursday be better for you?
Nope. Tuesday's fine. Yep,
okay.
I'd actually rather do it sooner than later anyway.
Cool. How about, could you do 11 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
8 a.m. for me.
Is that too early?
Nah.
I could do 12.
That works out works out really well, because then I can, be on with my day afterwards.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, let me know if you have any questions on these items that I'm sending you. You should see this follow-up email in the next 20 minutes, I would say. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you then.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
Thanks. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Okay. Talk to you soon. Have a good weekend.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.